and abundance. Now, we all desire freedom, all of us. Hey, Kathy. Hello, darling. Give me a little love heart or something so that I know if you can hear me or not, Kathy. I've just waved at you. Let's see if you can hear me. I want to make sure you guys can hear me before I even start talking about this. So important, right? Joy is so, so important to the way that we manifest, to the way that we show up in the world, to the way that everything gets to be for us. And there is a real need for joy right now, if you ask me. There is a lot of non-joyful things floating around, and it's easy to get sucked in. And it's natural to get sucked in, but it's also very easy to suck yourself back out, right? We can really change our lives. Oh, great, you can hear me. Thank you. It's just the comments were a little bit delayed. All right, then I'm going to get stuck into this because it's a really important topic for us to be talking about today of all days. The path to freedom, joy, and success. They're all the same. Honestly, joy is the secret key to everything you desire. Like when you think about children, how good they are at manifesting exactly what they want, right? Do you remember desperately wanting that walking, talking dolly or that push bike or those roller skates, and you got them, right? Even though your family couldn't really afford it, or they weren't on the market yet, or they weren't available, they were only available overseas. Children have a way of manifesting things because they don't worry. And if you think about the difference between children and adults, children mostly, right, are in joy and ease and flow, and dogs as well. Like they're not worried. Like if you bring out the Tux biscuits and there's only one, you give it to one dog, the other dogs don't go and cry. The dog that takes a biscuit's not like, I wonder if I should share it with my little buddies. I wonder what everyone's going to think. Are they going to think I'm an asshole for taking the last biscuit? Like they just don't worry about it. They follow the joy in each and every single moment. And I think we lose that as adults. We forget that we can follow the joy, and children follow the joy, and we teach them how to be kind to other people, and dogs are kind to other people, right? We don't think dogs are assholes, but they follow their own joy. Their own joy comes first. And just because their joy comes first doesn't mean they don't want other people to have joy. And it doesn't mean that they're not nice to other people. It just means that they're following their joy and their bliss. And if you want more freedom and more joy and more success in your life, following your bliss, doing what makes you happy, makes you live in joy. It gives you the freedom. It allows you to give joy to other people. It allows you to be a better human being. So there's a few things that I want to talk about, because there's 4 particular things really that truly will set you free and bring you joy. So let's get stuck into talking about those. So we crave freedom, all of us. Even those who are technically free already, we still say that we want freedom. Most of the people that I talk to, I say, what's the number one thing that you want? And I mean, I know that I'm in the space of working with entrepreneurs, right? They all want freedom. Whether it be time, money, space, they want freedom. They want to feel free, because when you're free, everything flows. And in my experience and observations, the things that hold us back from that path to freedom, joy, and success is because we deny ourselves. That's why I started this conversation with talking about the dog getting the Tux biscuits and the kids getting the toys that they wanted. Because as adults, we deny ourselves. We wait. Don't have the money for that right now, so I'll wait for it. But if you commit to buying it, the money for it comes. Now, I'm not suggesting that you spend outside of your means, because that's not fun and flow either. But I'm talking about creating the path, right? We're creating the need. We push down our desires. Oh no, I don't really want that thing. I don't really need it. No, it's okay. And we don't accept help. We don't accept praise. We don't accept or expect the good things in life. And we don't trust ourselves. We think that if we follow joy, that we're going to become selfish little assholes, and we're just not, right? We're beautiful human beings. Every single person is a beautiful human being. Sometimes they're operating outside of joy and outside of flow and outside of acceptance and love for other people, and it makes them do things. It doesn't mean that there's not love and light on the inside. I strongly believe there is love and light on the inside of everyone. But we don't trust ourselves to be love and light. We're like, right, if I'm going to be a billionaire and I'm going to have all this stuff, well, all of a sudden I'm going to be this not nice person and I'm not going to care about those people over there. It's just not true, right? We think that wealthy people are not nice people, but it's not true. Look at Oprah, look at Richard Branson. Money is just an expander, right? Why are we fearful of even having the abundance in our lives? Money's just like alcohol. It really is just an expander of the energy that you're in right now. So being a beautiful human being, when you have more wealth and abundance, you're going to give to more charities, you're going to bring more joy, you're going to spend more money in your local economy, you can help your family more. So don't shy away from joy, abundance, or freedoms. So instead of doing what we want to be doing, we do what we think we should be doing. We let the old brain get in the way instead of the heart. And it crushes us. It squashes our lives. It dampens our vigor for life, and it crushes our joy, and therefore depletes our energy and our magic. And those of you that know me and follow me already, you know that I'm a business coach, and you know that my favorite saying is energy matters most. It really does. If your energy is flat, then your business is going to be flat. If your energy is high, your business is going to have all the success, but it's the same in a job. It's the same in relationships. It's the same with health. If your energy is high, your health is going to be amazing. If your energy is high, the relationships around you are going to be juicy and delicious. If your energy is high, then your abundance is going to be high and delicious and come to you in ease and flow. And that energy, the biggest thing for energy is joy. But there are 4 other things, and I'm getting to them. I just kind of want to lay the foundation so that you follow where I'm going. So operating life from this mode does not, operating outside of joy and flow does not bring your dreams to life or help you find your happiness or your success. The real secret to finding freedom lies in joy. And as a bonus, the joy brings with it all the other good things that you desire, like your success and the juicy relationships and the health and the abundance. So what holds us back from finding joy in this life, regardless of whatever else is going on, right? You can find joy in any moment. You really can. And honestly, when you examine history and the people that survived some of the things that other people didn't survive, they held on to the joy. They held on to the fact that they had it within them. They could go within, they could find the joy within the very small things, right? And that's what I'm talking about now, going within and finding the joy within you. So there's a number of things that hold us back from joy, in my opinion. Overly crowded brains, scrolling on social media, watching TV, consuming the news. Our brains are so full that we don't even know what we want. So how can we go after it and live in joy? Second thing is a lack of connection with our body, with nature, with other people, with other souls, with our spiritual connections. There's just a real lack of connection. And when you're not connected, you feel alone. And when you feel alone, of course, you're not going to feel joy. But some people can't even feel sensations in their body. That's how much of a lack of connection there is. If you want to feel joy, go outside and do some star jumps, dance around in your office to some really high vibe music. Get connected with people, but the right people. Don't connect with people that make you feel like shit. You want to be connecting with high energy people. The third thing is limiting beliefs. So many limiting beliefs. Like, there is more important things to be doing than jumping around doing star jumps or listening to crazy music to increase my vibe. Trust me, there is nothing more important than energy. Energy matters most. Bring the energy back, you bring the joy back, you bring the flow back, you bring everything back. You'll feel amazing. Your mind will be clear, your heart will be full. You'll be a better human being to be around, and all of the success will flow to you naturally. Fourth thing is busyness, putting everything else first. And it's the world that we're taught to live in, right? The work comes first, Michelle. You must do your work. You must bust out 8-hour days, 10-hour days. Oh my God, I just did a 50-hour week last week. Amazing me. But it doesn't have to be. You can bust out your work. I've actually finished my work for the day now. I sat down in my office at 10 o'clock. I'm now finished for the day. The rest of the day is mine. I worked my ass off. My keys, my fingers are flying off my keyboards. I'm working hard when I'm working. But before I started at 8 o'clock, I spent 2 hours doing all sorts of awesome stuff that I want to do. Exercising, journaling. I had a sauna. I ran around with the dogs. I did a little dance around the kitchen while I'm making my coffee. So I got my energy high so that when I sat down and did my work, boom, I did all of my work, right? And if I listed it off, you'd be like, did you really do that in 2 hours? Yes, because I brought the energy to it. And now I'm going to go and do some fun things. I'm going to visit a friend, and then I'm going to do some yoga. And then I might do some more work later if I'm called to it. But the point is that I'm bringing joy and the energy to it. I'm not putting my joy and my energy last. I'm not saying, no, I will read my book and I will relax and I will have some joy when I've done my 8 hours of work. because it doesn't have to work that way. You can expand time, and the way you do that is with joy and energy. So there are 4 things, I finally got to them, the 4 things that you need to live a life of freedom, joy, and success. Space, body, soul connection, belief. Let me talk a little bit more about each. Space. This is the first thing, the most important thing, the thing that people do not have, that I see the most. You need mental, physical, and emotional space. There are a lot of people in lockdown with families crowded into their house. It is very difficult to get the physical, the mental, and the emotional space. Everyone's having big feelings, right? So all of our emotions are encroaching onto other people. We are all looking at Facebook at people's emotions. I bet you 50% of the people that are watching this, because not the other 50%, because they're my clients and they're banned from doing it, wake up and the first thing they do is they look external to themselves, either in their emails, on the news, or in social media, and they're bombarded with the world's emotions and opinions. The first thing that you should do if you want to live a life of joy is connect yourself. How am I feeling inside my body today? How do I choose to feel today? What goodness and juiciness and excitement am I going to manifest into my life today? That will start your day with joy. Physical space is a little bit trickier to get if you're surrounded by people. So what you can do is expand your energy so that you feel that you have a bigger space. So listen to Delta Brainwaves music, like even on Spotify now, like you can find binaural beats music, and it expands your energy field so you feel that you have more space around you. But equally, you can put earphones in so that you can't hear other people. You can hide underneath your covers and journal. You can sit in your bloody wardrobe, move the dresses to the side, sit in the back of the wardrobe and do your yoga poses or your meditation in there. Like, get creative with where your spaces are and spend more time outside. If you're not lucky enough to live on a beautiful farm like I do, then go to the park and go to the beach and go and sit in beautiful places. Yeah, you want to join me, Sarah? You can absolutely join me. Let's have you in here. Let's see if it works. We've got someone that wants to join in and talk to us. Let's see if she comes in. Okay, so we've talked about space. Hello, Sarah. Did you know that you're in my video? Did you request on purpose?
No, it's an accident.
Well, I've let you in. Let's talk about energy and joy. You're in here now, darling. I don't know how to get you out, so you're going to have to stay in here with me. What do you think, Sarah, is the secret to joy? What do you think the number one thing that holds people back from joy right now is?
I think there are a lot of people who get sucked in the energy that's around them, so the fear and the anxiety, and they get so sucked into that, and then they feed off of it, and then they fuel it, and they don't see they have a choice to step out of it and to ignore that, and to, I know of people who are almost, they feel like they need to stay there, that it's wrong to feel joy. They should stay there because everyone's unhappy, and therefore to get out of it and to be joyful makes them somehow a bad person, and I think that's ridiculous.
Joy guilt. It's a real thing. Joy guilt. Yeah. And I know even for me, like when I bounce around on the internet and show my joyful self, I have sometimes people reach out, even people that know me well, and say, do you think that you should be throwing that in people's faces right now? And it's like, oh, so you actually want me to be unhappy so that it doesn't offend other people. But, like if I'm miserable, it's not helping anyone else be any happier. And it's certainly not taken away from their misery either. And if my joy confronts people and triggers people, then maybe that's a good thing, because then they can go, oh, so maybe my energy isn't quite right. And that's why I wanted to jump on and really, really talk about what actually works.
And it means that you give them permission that if you can be joyful, maybe they can be. So it's almost like, well, if you can do it, why can't I?
Yeah. And being joyful, right? Oh, he's famous on Instagram now. Hey, Ian, you're famous.
Is that Michelle?
Come on, come back, Ian. I forgot what I was going to say.
It's nice now.
Hello.
Hello.
Now that brought me joy. Now, what I was going to say about joy is living in joy doesn't mean that your life has no problems. Like sometimes people say, oh, but it's okay for you. There's no problems in your life. And you're like, how would you possibly know that? You're not inside my life, right? Doesn't mean that there aren't problems and challenges and things that I deal with. There are some big things going on in my life, but I can be joyful regardless of what's going on in my life. You know, you find the pockets of joy. And when I'm joyful, I find it so much easier to deal with the stuff that is going on in my life because I can bring the right energy to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your number one tip, Sarah, for people getting into joy?
Please be careful.
Making your husband a cup of tea.
It might be something really simple. It might be just to do something that would usually make you smile. So it might be just going out for a walk and looking at the trees, or looking at flowers, or taking a moment and looking at the birds in nature. For other people, it might be watching a movie that makes you laugh. I think anything that takes you out of what's going on for you at the moment, your work, family, whatever's stressing you, you need to go out and do something that's away from that, so you're completely focused on something else. So then you might
something consuming, and especially something that moves your body and is quite consuming, so that you actually feel the joy in your body.
Yeah. I mean, for me, going for a walk or spending time, walking with trees or looking at the birds or playing with my dogs, doing something that's really silly. And sometimes I'll play music and I'll just dance in the kitchen and my kids look at me horrified, and that's even better. So
that's even more joyful.
Even if it's just 5 minutes of just doing something really silly that has no purpose other than it's just silly and it's fun. Or sometimes I'll watch something like a comedy, even if it's a comedy skit for 5 minutes, just so that I laugh, and then I feel good. So sometimes if I've got wound up or whatever, I'll just, even if it's or embarrassing my kids, that makes me laugh. I'll do something, just even if it's 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could just be something really spontaneous that takes you out of the moment you're in.
Exactly. And that covers off my second point, is that body connection, like touch, like massage, hugging a person, hugging a dog, physically moving your body, going for a swim, running around the block naked, like whatever it takes to actually physically connect with your body. I suggested that to one of my coaching groups the other day, and then they joined my Telegram group, and they thought that actually live stream them getting themselves naked into their spa. They were horrified, but they didn't. But it entertained me endlessly. She sent me all these things. I was like, lovely. So the third thing, Sarah, is soul connection. Like when you are connected to something external to yourself, like for me, like I believe in God, I believe in angels, I believe in fairies, I believe in all sorts of things, right? You wouldn't believe it, you would believe what I believe in, Sarah. But other people might not, right? But it doesn't matter what you actually believe in, but a connection outside of yourself helps you to see that your world isn't small. Like I know that the world is in chaos, but I have utter trust that this chaos is leading to a period of peace because I'm connected to something external to myself. I know that in my body. So it really helps me to live in joy because I know that everything's going to be okay. I really do. I 100% know it. And the third part is actually belief that everything's going to be okay, belief that you're going to be okay, belief in your worth, and belief that you're here on this planet to do something. Because having a purpose brings you joy, you know, like if you're just rolling out of bed and going to a 9 to 5, you know, another dollar, another day. God, I hate that saying. I'm like, oh my Lord, no wonder there's no joy in your life. Another dollar, another day.
And that's why I feel a lot of people are stressed at the moment, is because they've lost that purpose. So if they can find their purpose in something else or bigger than their job, the job isn't necessarily your purpose. So if you could find your purpose that's actually bigger than that, then you can find joy.
And start a side hustle, start volunteering somewhere, start creating stuff on the internet that brings joy to other people. Like it doesn't necessarily mean you have to quit your job and start a business, right? You can bring your purpose anywhere. Yeah. Now, what I'm doing, Sarah, is I am doing a 14-day lit life challenge. I'm like, right, let's get people in. Let's actually give them the steps that they can take to make their life completely lit. So 14 days with me via email, no social media whatsoever, because I think social media is actually part of the problem right now. So it's going to be all on email, and there's going to be an opening ceremony on Zoom and a closing ceremony on Zoom, and then 12 days in between of all the goodness and all the things that you can actually do to bring joy into your life right now. And because it's 14 days, I've made it $14, which is just an arbitrary amount, right? So you'll actually open up the emails and do it. So if anyone wants to do that, the best thing to do is reach out to me on social media. And Sarah, you're going to do it. You're already in there, and I can't wait to do it. I did decide on some dates, but I can't remember what they are. I think it's in around 2 weeks' time. It starts on a Friday. Doesn't really matter when it starts, eh? Let's just get into it and do it.
Oh, worth it. People, sign up.
Exactly.
Sign up.
Thank you so much for jumping into my live, and now you've learned a new skill. You now know that you can join in live